What's up, my loves? It's your girl Diamond. I'm back with my own review of Love and Marriage Huntsville. So we are back with Lewis and the guys. After their talk, Tiffany is feeling some pain. She's having light sensitivity. She can't open her eyes. All she's seeing is stars. And Lewis wanted her to get some water. Stormy went and got Kimmy. Kimmy is a nurse, and Kimmy wanted to check in on her, wonder how is her pressure. Have you felt this pain before? She wishes she would have had her medical bag with her because she carries it in her car, but she rode with Maurice. Now, the whole time, Tiffany can barely stand up. Like she's clenching her arms, she's clenching everybody else's hand. She can't even open her eyes. When I have a very bad migraine and I'm trying to open my eyes and look up, I can't. I have to look down because it's very sensitive to open. So if she's experiencing something like that, I can understand because I felt that pain before. And she's avoiding going to the hospital, avoiding while you got a whole group of people who are like grown adults can't call 911, asking her over and over about calling 911, go to the hospital. She's saying no. Tiffany, you're not Wonder Woman. You cannot endure this pain. You need to go get checked out. You cannot breathe through it and say you're fine because you said you were dizzy, you were nauseated. I don't know if you were eating or drinking water while at this baby shower because you seem to be completely weightless, like you're just completely disheveled. And you're pregnant, good and pregnant. You're at the last leg. You're over 8 months pregnant and you're not going to go to the hospital to get checked out. You need to put yourself and the baby as top priority. So Kimmy was confused as everybody as to why Tiffany don't want to go to the hospital. But Lewis wasn't about to wait for the hospital. Wait for 911. He went, picked her up, put her in the truck, and drove her to the hospital, which is what he should have did, and I was all for it. Like, you got a room full of people asking her, you want to go to the hospital? I think we should call 911. Somebody fucking call them. You guys are, like, it don't make no sense. But go ahead, Lewis, take her. Okay, Marcel, Maurice, and Tisha, they all meet up for a groundbreaking photo of a project that they are building with Gino. Don't know what it is. All I see is a lay of dirt. Don't see a sign of a new development coming. Don't know when. But Maurice was just there to be a part of the scene. He didn't have no involvement in this. Maurice was telling Marceau about how he got the project with Glenn, Scott Manor, Tisha's office, I think something else. And is any of this going to be complete in time? Is one thing going to take over the other? I don't know. If Maurice made it seem as, no, Marceau made it seem as if whenever he wants Tisha to come with an idea, she never comes with ideas. She is never prepared. She always, um, she becomes very decisive. She never has everything thought out. But when Tisha walks in with this ugly pink dress, these bow tie shoes she can barely stand in, she wanted to know what they were talking about. Maurice, I think Maurice didn't cover for Marceau because Marceau wanted to say, nothing, babe, you look great. And Maurice was like, no, he's looking at you as if you don't have everything all together. I don't know. Marceau tends to embarrass Tisha at times where it's not necessary, but we see Gino and Tisha and Gino did not get on the right foot because he did take her office without her knowing. He was invited into the company without her knowing, but apparently he's been a great addition, and now he can focus on field projects, and Marcel can focus on business development. I'm wondering, where is Tisha's plan in all of this? Where is her role? Because apparently she still is clueless of what's going on. So they take a picture. Everybody was involved in the picture, even Gino's daughter. And it's like, what are y'all building? It's another fluff of what could be discussed about Marcel and Tisha, and then it gets swept under the rug, not talked about, and we're talking about everything else involving all the other cast because y'all don't have nothing else going on. I don't see nothing. So with Gino being able to take over certain projects, it can leave help. It can leave room for Marcel to help Tisha with the Black Expo. She's so excited to have help because she can't do anything on her own. And this is a vision that Marcel has had for his business. It's coming to fruition, and now he wants to have that same energy with the Comback group. But I feel like you guys messed up with bringing back the Comback group. You guys did not plan this out carefully, thought out, professionally of wanting everybody to be part of the comeback group. Now, Maurice, I'm gonna pay attention to you because you flipped a lot this episode. He broke down that the comeback group was not for us. It was egos. It was gender. It was non-humility. So right now, how is that gonna change with this time? Um, More so wants to get back to the community, but in order for him to get back to the community, he's not gonna pay anybody. He's not asking them to do it for free, but he's asking them to still donate their time for free because if all they care about is money, then that's not going to be fun. More so, you are inviting a group of individuals who are entrepreneurs, owners of multiple businesses, and you want them to do an event for free? No. But you're trying to find some type of words that doesn't say what it is. You want to add community as if this is a give back. Then find another way to give back more so. But don't use everybody else's likeness for you to give back. Because that's what I feel like this is. You don't want to pay people, but you want them to do something for free because you know that you and Tisha cannot have this event on your own with what you guys bring without having everybody else, which is the cast of Love and Marriage Huntsville, particularly Melody. You know Melody has a huge following. You know Melody has the audience. And since you guys are not in a good light of the audience, you want to bring her along so everyone can come. That's exactly what it is. Then you bring up this damn sponsorship that Melody brought up, and that if the money that you guys can use from the sponsorship could revenue and raise in a different way to help out with their business. So you're looking for another way to not pay them, but to cover an event if they was to have one. Not gonna work. You're not gonna skip out on not paying people because you don't want to pay them, but you want to keep up. You want to keep a side of money in case for another event. But that's not gonna come out of your pocket. I don't understand. You see how I'm confused I am? Because I don't get it. And then you guys did not even come with all the information when you guys had the first meeting. You expected for everybody to say, yes, we'll do it, but nobody answered every question. Y'all was not even aware of budget fees. Y'all wasn't aware of speaking fees. What is the purpose? Y'all couldn't even come out with what you guys wanted in the beginning. Moving on. Melody. Melody meets with her attorney, which is the same attorney she used for her divorce and is the same attorney for her custody case. She is looking to get her maiden name back, Rogers, because she has dropped Holt in her businesses, went by Melody Cherie, but now she wants to go back to being Melody Cherie Rogers. Apparently, she cannot have her change name while going through an active court case, which is kind of fucked up. You want to cease her changing her name because she's going through court, kind of cold. But once the custody case is settled, then she can go by changing her name, which she's done. You know, the custody case has been settled, and she just had a name changing ceremony, which she's very likely entitled to celebrate. But with going through a divorce for the first time and going through a custody case, she just cannot believe the demands that Martell wanted. I'm happy she addressed of what's been on social media because I said it. I think in my last review of him wanting her social media passwords, her bank records, and anybody she's been involved with romantically since the divorce. She said that in this scene because that's what Martell wanted. All the demands that I saw on social media, all the blogs of him from the divorce and the court case, Martell is a fucking asshole for that. Why? Okay, bank records. Okay, you want her to prove she is financially stable and responsible to raise four children. Melody is showing that. I need for you to show your records of how you can financially be responsible for five children. But you want her social media accounts? Yeah, you're not going to get that. Her social media to her Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, you're not getting those passwords. And any information of any man that she's been romantically been involved with since the divorce, you don't need to know that. That's none of your business. Because any information about Melody, he can use against her, which is what he has constantly done about the babysitters and it's a whole bunch of bullshit. I feel like can the same request be put on him? Who has he been involved with since the marriage, since the divorce? Like, come on now. What's his social media passwords? Like, you can miss me with that. So it just goes to show you that Melody is not moving like this because she wants the attention or that she's bitter. She's moving like this because she has to, because of who she's dealing with. Like, I swear, a lot of folks don't want Melody to be understood. They don't want her to be, oh, wow, I'm sorry. Like, they just want to present her and in this nasty, negative light because of Martell. And also, she also talked about, Martell popping up on her, the excessive phone calls. I think a order was sent to him, a restraining order, and he has stopped with the excessive phone calls and he has stopped popping up on her. Pretty much why she never invited him inside her house. Because you want to pop up on me, just like how he popped up on her at their daughter's birthday when he wasn't invited. That's what he likes to do. Yeah, you can miss me. Like, Martell's crazy. Like, he is beyond deranged at this point. But I'm gonna move on. Martell. Martell meet up with a fashion designer who um creates a very lucrative suit line for men because he specializes in weddings. Because there's a lot of men who rent tux for weddings and they don't own a lot of suits. So since Martell wears a lot of suits, excuse me, he thinks this could be a good business opportunity for him. Now they flash back to all the times that Martell did wear a nice suit, all the reunions, events, and everything. Don't know why he didn't think of this before, but he loves to dress nice, dress clean, and he can wear any suit of any pattern, any color. I just don't want them to be so damn tight. That's the one thing. If Martell's going to create a suit line, have it be not so tight. So, obviously, what is his target audience? Like, how much are you planning to sell these suits for? He said $600 to $700 a suit. I want to know who is his target audience. Like, are you looking at stockbrokers, attorneys, um, CEOs who wear suits on a day-to-day basis, but also have an affordable line for the regular men? Because a lot of regular men don't wear suits unless it's for a wedding or a funeral. But if your target audience is the businessman attire, then yeah, you have a market where he could make a lot of money. And I think Miguel talked about that would be a good 50% price bracket for you. And do you want big lapels, oversized lapels, double breasted? Showed a picture of double breasted suits with gold buttons. And that looked really nice, looked very presidential. So he's willing to collaborate with Martell. All he needs to do is pay up 100 grand up front in order for him to put the style, the pattern, the quality, all in production, and they can get the suits made. Because this would be a generational wealth investment for him. Because people do wear suits. You just need to find the target audience, like I said. I don't know how he came with 100 grand up front, even though Miguel said you can pay it over time. You know what I'm saying? You can not have it all at once, but generally give it to me. Then there was a photo shoot happening in DC where they could present his collection. I think I saw a video of him on Facebook, so I guess it came true. Martell did have his suits made. I wonder if he's going to wear his own line of suits for the reunion, and will he give suits to the fellas? You know what I'm saying? Give them an exclusive inside of his collection. And will he have it for all sizes, tall, height, weight, especially Lewis? Lewis is huge. He's in the big and tall area. So hopefully he can meet the market of the average man and the other not so average men. But since he got his wine, which is not selling, but this is another opportunity. Congratulations, Martell. Moving on, Tiffany. Tiffany is at home on bed rest because this was very scary for Lewis. You know, he did not like being put in that position of rushing her in the hospital. The doctors did confirm that she needs to slow down. She's different from other mothers. She has low blood pressure. So she gets more tired more. She starts to not feel uncomfortable. So she's very happy that she's okay and the baby's okay. But while being on bed rest, she's on the computer working. Apparently, she's planning one last trip to DC because she's been invited to speak for diversity in clinical research. That sounds cool, but Tiffany, you are pregnant, very pregnant. You do not need to be on a plane in DC where you have no one else there for you that can help you to rush to the hospital if your labor was to break. And Lewis is looking at her like, girl, what are you doing? Why are you in the bed? I literally just rushed you to the hospital. You were feeling numbness in your left arm. And he got emotional. He was crying. He's like, I love you. I really do. But I don't want to go through that again. Promise me you'll slow down. Because that was scary. And it warmed my heart to see Lewis get emotional because Lewis cares so much about his wife. And even though Tiffany is extremely hard headed, to me it's kind of like both. He can express how much he wants Tiffany to slow down, but if Tiffany wants to slow down, let her. You know what I'm saying? Let her learn the hard way. For real, for real. Like you just went through this scary, you know, incident and now you want to go back to work? You don't want to slow down? She keeps on saying, I'll drink water, I'll make sure I'm rest, I'll make sure I eat what I'm supposed to eat, but I don't think I can slow down. What you mean you don't think you can? You're not superwoman, Tiffany. You cannot handle it all. You cannot do it all. You cannot control it all. You can't. You can't. And especially since you're down the line being pregnant, Lewis is a traveling coach. He can't be on the road worrying about you because you're not resting, you're not slowing down, and you're putting yourself in serious situations that he has to get you out of. You need to rest. Again, she's still not seeing the problem. Tiffany is a woman who likes to be busy. She likes to juggle a lot. That's her mode. That's her, her energy. She likes to move. She can't sit still. I think I already said it before, but she only took a 6 week maternity leave when she had Ace. She's back at work because she doesn't like being like settled. She doesn't like to being like, down for long. She likes to move. And it's like, girl, you were seeing stars. You could have been in labor, but it's no stopping her. But I'm like, you know what, Tiffany? Fine, girl, do you. Learn the hard way, but I hope that you're managing it better. Okay? That's all I want is for her to manage it better. If you are someone who's an active person who's always on the move, it's gonna take a minute for them to realize they can't do it all at once. They have to manage it. Just like Lewis said, you're gonna have to manage time now that we have another baby. She don't want to. She wants to let things be the way it is. Their schedule is not gonna change. It's not gonna be accelerated or less. It's gonna be just like how it is. Fine. So they did not get a chance to talk about what happened with the fellas. And Lewis was right in all of this. He said, listen, I understood Martell's perspective. I understood how he felt because it was someone that he was associated with. So I get how he felt. But Marceau, I couldn't understand why he felt the way because it wasn't his place. It wasn't his business. It wasn't about him. Betty Crocker always got to be in the mix, always mixing stuff, being other people's business. That had nothing to do with him. So he said that had nothing to do with Marceau. I don't care if it was in his establishment. I don't care if he was there for the whole conversation. Still did not have nothing to do with him. Marceau wasn't there when Tiffany had that conversation with Sheree. And he wasn't there when Sheree had that conversation with Martell. But apparently, Martell did let Marceau know. That's why in that scene, he wanted him there. But Marceau went and left when adding his 2 cents in, with adding, gasp. Why would you say that? Oh my God, I think you need to get slapped for that. Like all that added shit that Marceau had to say, nobody asked him to say, giving his Ken version of a Karen because he wants to give unsolicited advice that nobody asked for. And Lewis wasn't paying attention to him, which I'm happy. I'm happy that Lewis read Marceau's energy. Lewis read why Marceau had something to say because he wanted to be involved. But it had nothing to do with him. Now, Tiffany, recognizing that it's the same problem she's had since she's been on this show, her timing with everything, her bringing up certain things, looking at timing. Tiffany, now that you're pregnant, it's clicking you now. You need to work on your timing. You said that before with Destiny. You said that before with who else? Kiki. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Now you're doing it with Sheree. Tiffany, your timing is worse, but I feel like I'm not that mad about your timing, but it's a little bit too much because you are pregnant and you need to be mindful of putting yourself in situations because you are pregnant. And Lewis told her right, babe, I hear you, because the things you say do bother people, but it's only because they do not know you. Since they do not know you, they get offended. They get offended of the things you say, which I find it to be kind of like, damn, all of y'all say things that are, offensive, out of pocket, wrong timing, but because it's Tiffany, everything is on her. So considering the fact that they don't know who you are, they don't know where your heart is, don't know where your intentions are, they get offended. And Lewis can understand that, but he's telling her, be mindful of that, okay? Then in the back of her mind, after being told she's working her timing, she wants to understand how is Melody and Martell's co-parenting and how they are becoming a blended family. How is Melody dealing with women being around her kids? Don't worry about that, Tiffany. That's not your place. Don't worry about that. And of course, you're looking at your situation of how you and Lewis have had better ways of co-parenting, have had conversations, have gone through the motions and the journeys of co-parenting. That's not you. That's not their situation, Tiffany. Your situation is different from Martell's and Melody's. They are two different people who have different situations of learning how to co-parent. Okay, it's not going to come as easy as yours was. Okay, and like Lewis said, it's not your place. Don't worry about that. Then Lewis asked her, has Melody and Martell reached out to you about co-parenting? She said no. Has Melody asked you for advice on how to deal with this when it comes to co-parenting? No. So people have to be receptive of listening to your advice. But people are not receptive of listening to you, Tiffany, because you come out of nowhere with this. I'm not mad about it, but see, other people, they cannot understand where you're coming from because they feel like you're being messy, you're asking too much questions, you're being invasive. So they look at you as messy and stirring up shit, Tiffany. So he's telling her, don't be in no shit, okay? You need to learn how to not put yourself in stressful situations so that way he does not have to bail you out, okay? Because remember, you are pregnant. Think about you, think about the baby. Again, he's a traveling coach. He cannot always be gone and find bullshit when he comes back, and your name is involved in the bullshit. So, very clear, very firm. Don't have me no shit. You need to understand? Yeah, his friends can get involved in shit, but I don't want you involved in shit that I have to clean up. And I'm not saying that Lewis has a problem with defending Tiffany. Absolutely not. But he is aware. My wife says a lot of shit that I know where her heart's at, but I know how other people can get offended with that. And I cannot always defend her in this. I'm tired of defending her in this. I need for her to not put me in no shit. That's all. And I'm with Lewis. I love the fact that he checked her in private, even though it was in front of a camera crew, but he checked her in all aspects, as he should. He didn't check her in front of an audience. He didn't check her in front of the men, which I feel like is what Marceau wanted him to do. But no, he still defended his wife and still checked her in private, which is what you are supposed to do. That's how you do it. I defend you in public, but I check you in private because that's the type of relationship that we have, and I'm down for that. Happy to see you. I was with Lewis from beginning to end. Moving on. So it ended with the Core Six, the comeback group. This is the second meeting of the Black Expo. I haven't heard anything since the first meeting, so hopefully there's a lot more answers than questions. And Kimmy brings all of the information from the original comeback group, the concept, the mission statement, and remembering that Marceau wanted to be president of the comeback group. I wonder if he still wants to be president this time around. Yes, he does. So they're still in the dark because Melody asked Kimmy, so what are you going to be involved in? Are you going to be a panelist? Are you going to have a booth? Kimmy is still stuck on what exactly is the name of the event? What's the purpose of the event? Because if it's just the comeback group part two, then just say that. Melody is hesitant of being a part of the comeback group. Now, Kimmy reminded Melody that yes, Melody was the only one who did not want to be involved in the comeback group. And when they dissolved it, everybody wasn't agreeing with her for dissolving it. But she did not disagree that they will have meetings and nothing got accomplished. But apparently, Kimmy is still paying off the taxes of the comeback group. Is she the only one paying off the taxes? Is Marceau paying? Is Tisha paying? Is Martell paying? Maurice, obviously, Kimmy must be paying for her and Maurice. Um, so how is it that the comeback group is not completely dissolved if there's still property taxes being paid for? So why haven't y'all brought the group back if Melody didn't want to be involved in it? That's all I'm saying. If you guys were against Melody of dissolving the comeback group, why didn't you guys bring it back up without Melody's involvement? Why now all of a sudden you want to bring back the comeback group and you're asking everybody, including Melody, after she not fooling with y'all ever since being called a dark soul, ever since she don't take accountability, y'all words. Now you want to bring her in to start anew with a comeback group? Yeah, no, not gonna work for me. So, um, Melody and Kimmy are the only ones there. How are they the first there for a meeting that Marcel and Tisha wanted, and now this is the second time they're late? Unprofessional. That's very unprofessional to come late to a meeting you set up. And you want everyone's involvement for free for the comeback group? No. So Kimmy lets Melody know about her starting radiation. It's a 6-week process. Some days are better than others, but it's the last leg of the journey. So wondering about a vacation. She can't wait to go to a vacation, which led to her asking Melody about her vacation. Where did she go? She said out of the country. She said with who? Melody's not answering that because Kimmy's going off about how it's on social media and you can't talk about it. She don't want to. No, she don't want to because of course it's the same social media picture of her going out of the country with a certain gentleman, and Melody is keeping that part private. Like literally just overlooking, avoiding answering the question of this particular gentleman that Kimmy wanted to know because she don't really trust y'all. I know that her and Kimmy are in a better place, but she still cannot help but keep that private because if she was to say anything to Kimmy, Kimmy can let it be known to Maurice, who can let it be known to Marceau, who will be very happy to tell Tisha, and to tell Martell. So she doesn't want her new relationship or anything about her personal life just yet. So she's, avoiding answering that question, telling Kimmy about we want to go to St. Bart's, where do you want to go? Yeah, none of your business. None of that whatsoever. She don't know when she'll be open to her relationship as far as discussing it. But that's not the focal point of her life. She has so many other things going on. And if it was to be conversation about her dating, it's gonna pretty much put the focal point upon that other than what else she has going on. And I feel like Melody has given so much of her life as much as she has. I feel like it's okay for her to keep her personal life as far as her dating life separate, especially with Martell. Martell will use anything about Melody against her. That's why she's keeping her personal life under wraps in that aspect. Thank you. Appreciate it. So Maurice, Marceau, Tisha, and Martell all arrived 30 minutes late. When Martell wanted to get a handshake from Melody, she said, nope, no handshake for me. And that pissed off Martell. He wants to say that she's acting childish for not shaking his hand because he wants the image of them being in a better place, co parenting. She said, no, I'm keeping the same energy off camera, on camera. I'm not protecting you and faking that we're in a better place when we're not. Remember, the custody case was still going on. And after she was told she can't change her name after the custody case is settled. So she ain't got time for this. None whatsoever. Martell, you childish for always wanting a moment with Melody. Okay? So you can miss me. So this is the meeting where everything can be discussed because apparently there was no communication between anybody after the first meeting. Marceau, Tisha, this is where you guys messed up. How are you guys going to invite people for a business endeavor to come back to a comeback group and not give any information, not inquire about information from everyone else? You left everybody to no answers, left everybody to the unknown because you expected for everyone to come in with all their information without you asking for it. Not gonna happen. No emails were sent out about budgeting fees, speaking fees. No information was sent out about a booth, catering, vendors. None of that was being sent out. But you expected for them to give that to you? Why couldn't you come up with all of that from the beginning? Marceau and Tisha is giving lazy. It's given you guys do not know how to plan an event because you guys do not know how. You guys don't know who to call. You guys don't know who to inquire. You expect for everybody else to do it for you. Then you want to say, this is what we have in mind. Just like how y'all took over. Just like how y'all took over Millie's idea for sponsorships. So Tisha decided, even though Marceau should have opened up since he was one who said he don't want to pay nobody, that the core group that people are in this room right now are not going to get paid. However, everyone else will be compensated. Who is everybody else? Do you have other people, other people's vendors, businesses, booths, panelists? Who else is being involved in this? That's what's not being said. So considering you was bold enough to tell us the 6 people in this room right now are not getting paid, but other people are getting paid, explain that to me. Tisha talks about the premise of the Comeback Group starting in 2018. My guess is she mentions Love and Marriage Huntsville being put on the map, picking up from OWN, being the hottest show. That's where I'm thinking the Comeback Group got recognition. Kimmy said we were in 2016. Don't know why she ain't 2018. As far as it being the Black Expo, was it always named that way? No, it was called the Comeback Group. So Kimmy got her answer. This is for the Comeback Group. Change the name because the mission statement is the same. You want to give back to the community. You want it to be for the community who stood by you, supported you, all that and then some. So other than that, it's like, be honest. Be upfront. You want this to be a comeback group, then change the name. But as far as not paying anybody, Martell mentions Melody, who offers speaking fees because Melody is a paid speaker. That's her profession. To open up to not paying anybody is weird. But Melody wasn't the only one who was worried about getting paid, but she is the only one who spoke up because no one else wanted to speak up about being paid, as if you guys are not new to getting paid. So Marceau felt as though since nobody sent information to get paid, it was confirmation they don't want to get paid. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. I just think you guys cannot afford them, or you guys cannot afford Melody, and you are expecting for people to do this for free as a favor. No. I'm happy that Martell defended Melody, but she's the only one who spoke up. So you are expecting people to do shit for free for what? Now, Maurice, you flipped. I said you flipped about how you don't want to get paid. In the beginning, you said we couldn't get anything done because it was ego, humility, gender, all this and that. And now you're saying, I don't think we should get paid. Make it make sense. So Melody opens up about Tisha coming in, standing 10 toes down about not paying nobody. Cool, got it. But that's why I mentioned sponsorship. But since I mentioned sponsorship, you're saying that the money being spent from a sponsorship is not going to be compensation for us, but compensation for everyone else. Make that make sense. I don't get it. So Marceau had the nerve to say he don't associate with anybody who wants to do this out of greed. Do what out of greed? How is wanting to get paid for your time greed? You guys are a room full of entrepreneurs who own businesses. You do your business for free. You provide services for free. Marceau, you have a restaurant. Do you give your customers free food, free drinks? No, I don't think so. They pay you for your services. You create buildings, condos. You get paid for that, right? Or do you do it for free out of the kindness of your heart for the community? Hell no. You do it for a payment. You do it for a check. Melody has her skincare line. She has her songs. She has her masterclass, her property preservation. That's not free. They pay her for her services. Are you kidding me? Like, get the hell out of here. They go back and forth. Melody is checking Marceau. You don't get to tell me my philanthropy fees. As far as you feeling the right, you have no right to feel this way because what you're feeling is a crock of bullshit. There's no explanation. There's no elaboration. to what it is you want them to do. You're finding a fancy way of saying, I don't want to pay y'all, but I want you guys to help us with this event because we don't have the social media connection for this. We don't have a bigger platform for this. We need your help, but we can't ask that. And it's funny how you're asking that after all the mess that has happened since you guys' core friendship. So as far as like what is greed? What is getting paid more? I don't understand. There's no set number of who's getting paid considering the people in this room are not going to get paid. How much are the other people getting paid? Don't get it. So Melly talks about if we're trying to come up to do this and we're going back and forth with the sponsorship and the support, let's look at track record. I have not seen any one of y'all sponsor a Mimosas with Melody that I've had for about 3 to 4 years. Marcel cuts her off with, but going forward, Mel, yes, going forward. How are we going forward if there hasn't been no support from neither one of us? Neither one of us has sponsored any one of y'all's events. This is too fresh for me. Meaning, how are we coming from Tisha calling her a dark soul, you guys saying Mel don't take accountability, Martell with this childish shit, the prayer, like there's been a whole bunch of shit going back and forth between this group over the years of Love and Marriage Huntsville. And now you want to erase all of that to now say let's come together for a comeback group? No, this is too fresh. I don't know if I can trust y'all in this capacity again, like I tried before. Like I'm with Mel. I have a new set of eyes and ears. I'm not as forgiving and forthcoming as I was before, making sure that my distance and my peace stays cool. So then Tisha, she used this opportunity to say, how you going to say I never supported you when I was trying to support your skincare line and I got kicked out? Tisha, we're talking about sponsorship, not support. Did you help sponsor her Embrace skincare line? No, you didn't. You escorted your ass inside, uninvited, and you got kicked out. That's a whole different scenario right there. You're not listening. You want to place it off as if Melody don't support other people or she doesn't recognize who's been supporting her. She's not talking about that. She's talking about sponsors. If you guys want this sponsorship to be a chain of all of us having events and the money could be used to help that out, we haven't done that before. So how is it we're doing that now? That's what she said. So as far as Marceau and Tisha saying they don't want to pay nobody, but they're paying for the whole event and not expecting a paycheck, Kimmy finds that hard to believe. This Black Expo, that's with a QU, not a CK. You mean tell me after all of this, you are not expecting a pay in return? We're both entrepreneurs. Everybody's an entrepreneur, and there are some ways you are compensated for your time. All of this, and you're not expecting a return. No, there's interest in there somewhere. Marceau, you're not explaining everything correctly. You're hiding something. You're allowing for Tisha to be the mouthpiece when she doesn't know everything. Because I doubt you're planning to pay for all of this and you're not expecting anything in return. Oh, something from that sponsorship money is going to pay for something. It's because considering the fact that maybe that entire amount of a sponsorship money is going to pay for everything and everyone, but you don't want to pay everyone. You want to stifle and set aside money where you guys are owed and pay the other people what they're deserving, but don't pay the people sitting in this boardroom right now the money that they are deserving. That don't make no sense. It don't. And in business, you don't lose money. You don't lose money. So I doubt Marceau is in the middle of losing money for paying for an event that he don't want that money back. That ain't, no, I don't believe that at all. Then Maurice want to switch up again. That I agree with Kimmy. Y'all just using our ideas. Y'all just recycling our ideas. This is the comeback group. I'm like, Maurice, shut up. Shut up. You just flip flop so fast. I said it before. You're either for it or against it. Are you against being paid? Or are you for getting paid? I don't know, because you keep flipping for me. Tisha getting upset. I'm telling you what I thought in my mind. Okay, well, that's fine, Tisha. You can say what you thought in your mind, but it don't make sense to me, love. How are you thinking you can tell a group of people who own business that they're not going to get paid? And you want them to still support you? No, ma'am. It's to be continued. I can't wait for this. And I can't wait for Stormy and her family. Oh my goodness. But y'all, that's it. That's all I have. Please stay tuned for my next view, and I'm going to see you guys later. Bye.